I said, hey, welcome to the Man Cave Happy Hour. I said, hey, welcome to the Man Cave Happy Hour. We're gonna drink a fine whiskey and smoke a really fine cigar.
It is time for happy hour. It is the Man Cave Happy Hour. Whiskey, cigar, spirits, the stories that go along with it. I'm Jamie Flanagan.
This right here is August Gitchlight.
That's Matt Fox over there.
Hi.
Yeah, we haven't been together in a while, fellas.
No,
It's been a few weeks.
It's been a couple weeks.
Yeah.
You know, you were dying of another random virus that was going around.
Yeah, I know.
And I had all that funeral shit to deal with.
Oh,
you know.
yeah. And I didn't want to spread the love with the germs, so decided to park it at home.
Yeah.
But,
It's a nice refreshing break
some,
to not be in the studio.
Some creamy pints just came out on a tray.
They did.
Oh my goodness, look at that. And what's on
man.
top of that creamy pint?
Oh, there's
That's
a gorgeous
shamrock.
Oh my God.
shamrock. A proper poured pint.
Right.
Because you guys know I love Guinness.
Yes, you're a Guinness guy.
And it's what I do. It's if I'm at a bar, I'm like, you have Guinness, and they're like, in a can. I'm like, give me a PBR. I'm like, screw it.
I can handle the can. I don't like the bottle.
Yeah.
I had the bottle the other day. I was at Motor City in Hampshire.
If I have to, I'll do a can. But give me a pint. Give me a well poured pint. It makes me a happy man. Other than that, forget about it. I don't want that.
I don't want to start any fights.
And then other people are like, oh well, we have this milkshake stout. I'm like, no, it's not a Guinness. Get out of my face with that.
Look, I went through a phase where I was only drinking Murphy's. I went through a Murphy's Irish stout.
I remember
phase.
Murphy's.
I salute Murphy's always.
It was the nice, creamy, more vanilla, not as roasted, but we have our stouts. You know?
Oh yeah. So, but here's the thing, gentlemen. I wanted to. We're gonna Dimitri. We're gonna get to you in a second. I swear we're.
No worries.
We're at Gus's Snug, and we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about Dimitri. But before we do that, gentlemen, the elephant in the room. I need to salute you and cheers you, Dimitri. Join us in this. This is our 200th
That's right.
and
200
episode. Dimitri, you get to be on episode 200.
I am honored.
Cheers, gentlemen. It's
200. We've drank 200 times together. Is that what you're telling me?
I think it's a lot. It's going to be in then some.
That's just on the audio feed too, because there's been shenanigans. There's things that haven't made it to the audio feed. There's been some fuzzy math and a couple that had to go away for various reasons. But as the audio feed says, this will be episode 200. So I just want to say cheers and thank you. Too for your
thank you for bringing us along on this ride, buddy. It's been a blast.
It's been fun. This has been a lot of fun.
And we've been doing just a crap ton of fun things like hanging out and meeting people who do great things with spirits and do great things in the community and have just a crap ton of fun. And with us today at Gus's Snug in downtown Clawson, Dimitri. Welcome to Man Cave.
Well, thank you very much. Honored to be here for the 200th episode.
Yeah,
thanks,
it's
man. Special.
It is.
Well, you are special. I'm sure your mom told you that too.
She has many times.
Because I was posting some stuff and I'm like, oh crap. The next one's going to be 200.
Yeah.
What are we going to do? And then we started talking, let's do this. And then, we had this lined up and I'm like, screw it.
Yeah,
love the Irish.
It's going to be the Snug.
Yeah.
Look at the hell with it.
And our second episode in the city of Clawson.
Yes.
So 200 and second here.
Yes.
Very second downtown.
So, but Dimitri, we're going to find out because it's the Gus's Snug is a smaller version, slightly smaller version of Gus O'Connor's in downtown Rochester. And it's snuggy. I'm digging this place. We're going to find all about that. But before we get to about the two pubs, I want to find out a little bit about you, Dimitri. Dimitri, tell me about your childhood.
Bam.
There it is.
Well, I was born in Moscow, Russia.
Oh, you really?
Absolutely.
See, I love that question. People go, that's such a dumb question. Get out.
Well, yeah.
And then your name's Dimitri.
Which kind of fits, yeah. A lot of people ask me if I'm Greek, but no, Russian.
Okay.
So, but I lived there until I was 10. So,
are you fluent still?
I am, yes.
Nice.
I'm very fluent.
So
reading is tough for me, but I just got off the phone with them. You know,
Oh, that's
he's working things out, I hope.
Yeah. Jesus, Mary, and Joseph.
So I assume your parents keep your Russian going, huh?
Yeah. My mom, my family, we always just speak Russian. Otherwise, you forget it. I mean, I've been here almost 30 years, so and then I go back there. I have family, so then it's good practice. So
Right. Good. Very cool.
yeah.
You got to keep your palate moving,
Absolutely.
Keep the vernacular there.
Yep, gotta remember all the swear words. And
Did you come right to Michigan, or were there other stops before
we
Michigan?
lived in New York and Brooklyn,
All right.
as a lot of Russians do. So and then came to Michigan. So
All right. How long you been a Michigan boy?
very long time.
And do you consider yourself a Michigan boy?
I do, absolutely.
All right.
Yeah.
What's the dirtiest thing you can say in Russian?
That's I don't know.
Do you own a lot of tracksuits?
You know what? I don't. But when I came here, I'm pretty sure I was wearing a red Adidas tracksuit.
Of course you were.
Pretty sure.
You got to
That's
come
great.
to the tracksuit party.
Yes,
For sure.
I throw a tracksuit fundraiser every year. Everyone wears vintage tracksuits.
Oh, there you go.
So
Okay, I can
this will
fit in
be-
there.
Yeah, we've done it like 13 times now, and we raise money. Yeah, so that's why I'm like, oh, you must have a bunch of tracksuits.
That's
We got a
awesome.
connection for some
Right.
tracksuits.
Yeah.
I'm down.
All right. So as you get to Michigan, what led you into the bar life in the hospitality industry?
It's actually a great question. Kind of ended up here by accident. I used to, so in high school, I lived in Rochester,
Okay.
and a buddy of mine got me a great job at Great Oaks Country Club, valeting. And it was great because we'd park some cars and we'd go smoke some weed. And then wait for them to get done golfing, right?
Firing it up.
Well, nobody's doing anything for 4 hours. They're all golfing.
Yeah.
So I was doing that, and then in the wintertime, obviously they're closed. So they said, go get unemployment. I said, okay. And, I didn't know. I'm like, okay, going to get unemployment. And by an unemployment office, there was a Ruby Tuesdays that was hired.
Sure.
I said, well, I'll just go get a job. So I ended up working.
Crazy talk.
Love that
Working
mentality.
there. Yeah.
Love that
Right?
Got that corporate background, man.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
worked in bars for 18 years. I mean, we could get a hold of a TGIF, a TGI Fridays bartender or a Ruby Tuesdays bartender that was portion control trained.
Oh, yeah.
That was gold.
Oh, yeah. The TGI Fridays bartenders, I remember then they would do some flair, too.
No, that's funny.
So that brought you into your first experience with hospitality. What got you into? How did you get involved with Gus O'Connor's? And
So I kind of went from there, and I just figured out I enjoyed. I like cooking at home. I like entertaining, so I just enjoyed making people happy, and I was good at it.
All right.
So then, I went to a couple of different places. Was a server, and then I worked for Bravo, and I became like a corporate trainer and learned how to bartend. So that kind of really got me more involved. And one of my regulars said, "Hey, I know this cool bar downtown Rochester just opened a few years ago. They're looking for somebody to help them out. They need a good bartender." So I said, "Let me check it out."
all right.
And that kind of ended up me there. And I didn't like it back then. I would go in there, I'm like, this place is not that fun. But you know what? It got much better after that.
And here we are.
So what is your position with Gus O'Connor's and Gus's Snug?
So I'm one of the owners. Okay. So I actually worked at O'Connor's for a very long time to then I figured out, I said, you know what? I really like this. We've done a lot of great things, and I partnered up, made a plan to buy it out. Half of it out from the current owner, and the rest is history. And then this place kind of happened by accident.
As long as you're, bankrolled by that Russian mob, you're all right.
Yeah,
He's
not cool, man.
Rolling out.
Not cool, Jamie.
Well, my dad was actually part of the Russian mob.
See what you did? See what you did?
I think that's why my mom said we need to get the hell out of here.
No, we can't put this online.
Right.
It's all right. We're good.
Okay. I have a lot of tracksuits. I'll fit in.
So this place happened by just a happy accident, you said?
Yeah, you know what? We weren't really looking to do another place, but a friend of mine, one of my best friends, Mike O'Connor, ironic, right?
Right.
That just so happens. And he calls me one day and says, hey, there's this place I saw in Clawson. It looks pretty cool. So I came in here and I checked it out, and I said, you know what? If I'm ever going to do another one, this is going to be the spot. It just felt right.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know the history of this place. And then,
it has a history.
Exactly, right? That's what I found
It's
out.
got so much of a history. The bar next door has T-shirts saying that they're not them, right?
Yeah, right.
The shirt says, no, this wasn't Moose Wisniewski's. Right?
Oh, that's awesome.
At WTF. It says it on the back of their shirts.
That's hilarious. Well, I found out that because as we opened, I got all kinds of people coming in. I had a guy come in. He was probably in his mid to late 80s. He's like, yeah, I used to work here at Ted's.
Oh, jeez.
And I found out Ted's opened in like 1923 or something crazy, like 100 years ago.
My goodness.
So, so that's kind of cool.
It is cool.
Very
There's
cool.
some history going on over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, when they built out after Moose Wisniewski's, they put a ton of money into this place, and it never came out of COVID.
Right.
Because I just started here in town working in Clawson, and I felt so bad for them because I was like, they put a bunch of money in, they were ready to go, and everyone went in, and then everything got shut down, and they just never really got their momentum. And I'm like, you ever go into a place? I'm sure you've done this, Steve, where you walk into a place like this is going to be a great bar for the third owner.
Yes, absolutely, all the time.
Yeah, and that was exactly what I felt like when I came in here. I'm like, this is going to be a great bar for the third owner down the route.
COVID was tough, man. It was tough for our industry. It's we in Rochester, we try to stay relevant and do the carry out stuff, and that really I think helped us a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So because people remembered who you were.
You're Piedmontese, though. That's what kept you out there as well, because that's the only reason why I come back.
Well, we have that here too.
I know.
I was
I
going to
saw
say
it
we
on
do
the
the exact same thing. Yeah, absolutely. Those are delicious.
So it began in Rochester. There's some unique things about the building and the space, and there's things about this space that have a traditional Irish feel to them more than places like, we're an Irish pub, and then you walk in, you're like, the hell you are.
It's a couple Guinness mirrors.
Yes,
Right.
I've been to a lot of those places.
It's not. So what being a Russian dude, why is it important to?
I would have guessed Irish. I would
have-
have.
Well, most people do. They say either Irish or Greek with a name like Dimitry, but then they're like, "What? You're Russian? What are you doing in an Irish pub?" I said, "You know what? Good thing is, Ireland and Russia are always going to get along. They have whiskey, we got vodka. No, there's nothing to fight for, right?
I like
So we're good.
Plenty of trade there. Global
Exactly.
trade.
Right.
So what are some of the things that you try to infuse into the spaces to make them genuinely an Irish experience?
You know, that's a good question. And I asked that question to myself when I started working at O'Connor's. I said, once I was there for a little while, I got the owner and the manager, and we're sitting there having a pint. And I said, okay, this place looks cool. It's, looks like an Irish pub. What really makes it an Irish pub, though?
Real alcoholics working in the kitchen.
Okay, you're not getting any food, but so I said I got to go to Ireland. I got to find out.
Yeah.
Because I've never been. So we put a trip together. We went, and what I found was what the Irish is really about is about that hospitality, about the camaraderie, and being part of your community. So we tried to get that feel, and of course making it look authentic. And so O'Connor's was actually built by I think they call it now pub in a box, right? So they basically build everything in Ireland, and they ship everything over, and they put it together, and here you have your Irish pub.
Right.
So here we took a little bit of a different approach, because whatever it cost 20 years ago when they did O'Connor's probably costs 20 times more now, right?
Wow.
So we actually, myself, our contractor, Kevin, my partner, we went to Ireland. And this was a hard trip, I'll tell you what, because all we had to do is visit as many pubs as we can.
Oh my God.
Well, that's a tough trip, man.
Damn,
That is
man, I'm
so
telling
tough.
So
let me know when the next
Sounds like the
expansion's
worst
happening.
time.
we made a lot of sacrifices on that trip.
you made.
Man.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so I've been there a few times, but this particular trip, I've never been to the north. So Belfast, we're actually sitting in a snug that's called Belfast. So we went to the north. It was a little different. It was good, but I liked the little bit different culture there.
What year were you there?
So this was, so we opened.
Because that makes a difference.
So I was in 23,
Oh, okay.
24,
right.
23.
So
Yeah.
post-COVID.
All right.
Yeah, right post-COVID. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but lots of history of the unrest and all that stuff. And,
where was your first visit though?
So
Right?
I've
This
been
was
to,
your recon for this, but
Yeah.
when was that first visit?
Oh gosh, I've been around like 5 times, but usually stay at like Dublin. We've done the Ring of Kerry, so we've kind of been all over.
Sure.
Galway is one of
When
my
was
favorites.
that? When was the first
Oh,
trip?
the first trip, gosh, long time ago, like 15 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So
It's interesting though when you travel.
Mhm.
The first time I went was '97, and it was we were, my family's from the north, but we were doing around the Republic, and then we're like, all right, let's go see our cousins, and we head on up. And there's like a 20-foot fence and razor wire, full metal
especially
jackets.
back then, yeah.
And then we're driving through the town. There's burnt out cars, and because we went on the second week of July, which is the week when they blow shit up.
Yeah.
and so we went in the perfect freaking time is when they were blowing crap up. The week of the parades and what have you. But and then I went back 10 years later with my sister, and we're driving. We're trying to go north to see our cousins again. We're driving. Like, when are we going to hit the border? And I'm like, wow, we got to stop for gas.
There is no border.
We got to stop for gas. We stop for gas, and it was in pounds. And I'm like, oh, crap. We're in the north. That whole border was gone. That whole thing was gone. Although we went back again, and it was getting a little tense again. There was a little bit more presence again. So it really depends on when you went.
Yeah, I think my first trip had to be like 2010, maybe. So, but it was just great to see. Well, part of being Russian. So for a long time, I wasn't a citizen. I have been for a long time now, but back then I wasn't.
Nice.
So, yeah, right. Well, I'm good. I got my papers. I got my blue passport. But back then we couldn't go north because it would have been a problem for me because I didn't. I had to get a different visa and all that. So that's why we always
The Brexit
stayed.
changed a lot of that, made it chippy again too. The Brexit breakup.
Oh yeah.
The Northern Ireland and
made it chippy. That's a good way. Yep.
But yeah, it was great. I mean, I love the history of Belfast, and it was beautiful.
All right, we sidetracked. So the first one was a pub in a box. There's a lot of really authentic stuff in the Rochester place. But then when you were to build this one out, you did a little of your own recon, and you had to visit a ton of pubs. What did you bring back, or did you physically bring things back, or order things,
We did. You know what? Yes, we did bring some stuff physically back. A lot of the posters and things you see on the wall. Actually, this art that's behind you, this mural, that's from a bar in Belfast that we saw. It's the Jameson, Titanic sinking into a rocks glass Jameson.
Ah, nice.
So, but just getting a lot of.
I see it now.
Yeah, and a lot of them you'll see like this white star lines. So that's the Titanic line that basically operated the ships. So you'll see like in the main dining room, there's some more pictures of Belfast workers. I think it was the biggest shipbuilding city in the world at that time. So a lot of that industrial feel. So we definitely were looking at how to design it, and what we noticed a lot of times, you'll notice here is, so Ireland's old. A lot of the pubs are super old, right?
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
America's like got nothing on that. And
we're 250 years old.
Exactly. Like there, you're like, oh yeah, the oldest bar is like 3,000 years old. They used to behead people here for fun. You know what I mean? I'm like, okay, that's cool. But one of the biggest things I noticed was when we go into these old pubs, a lot of times you'll have that little old pub, they expand it. So you'll be in the part of the building that's super old and different, and then you go in the next room and it's totally different. And because it's been added on, so we tried to get that
add-on
feel
is
here.
300 years old.
Yes, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, so we try to get that feel here. So you look in the ceiling, you'll have different things going on there in different areas. So, so we tried to bring that warm feel back, and
you did an amazing job here.
Yeah, and we learned how to drink a lot of pints together. So that was probably the most important thing.
There you go. So we are on the eve of St. Patrick's Day here. We got about a week to go, right?
A week from tomorrow.
Exactly, a week from tomorrow.
Gus O'Connor's in Rochester has always been one of the big parties. The radio stations always fight for you guys to get their name out there and promote that day. And the party, I'm sure, is important to the culture of the place. So what's in store for the two locations now that you got to have two shows?
Yeah, well, last year was our first year of having two shows. And at first I was like, after I called Kevin, I said, hey, Kevin, I want to do another pub. He goes, what, are you fucking stupid? You got more problems? I said, yeah, I guess so. And then he goes, well, how are you going to be in two places for St. Patrick's Day? So last year, it was our first year here. I think we had a great turnout. Everybody had a great time. So I got some great people that have been working our event in Rochester forever. So
They kind of understand, the what's going to happen.
You trust them with the ship.
Yeah.
well, I shipped them off to the island. They're like, so you shipped us off to a different island? I go, no, you got your own island. You're looking at it the wrong way.
There's a cadence to the day, and they understand that cadence.
Absolutely, yeah. And that day we want to. It's not just a drunk fest.
Mm-hmm.
We want people to have a great time, and not. A lot of people go, well, it's amateur day. I go, amateur day is night before Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
St. Patty's Day
True
is an Irish holiday.
Right.
So we do a pretty good job, I think. A lot of entertainment. And
What do you have
times.
coming into
So
this
what's
location
on tap
specifically?
for the two places?
Yeah, so I can kind of talk about Rochester first. So, as you mentioned, we work with radio stations this year. We're working with 995.
Yeah.
So
I
great
got
country.
fired from them all, so it doesn't matter.
Good
so you can
for
talk
you.
to any station you want to.
Perfect. All right. I love this guy.
Nobody will hire me. So,
Well, you got your own podcast. So you don't need it.
I do.
So both places open at 7 a.m. We'll have a live broadcast going from the morning show. And then what's cool is, so if you want that real Irish experience, that's why you got to come at 7 in the morning, because that's probably when they drink there. So, but at both places, we're going to do first 100 Guinness will be on site. First 100 people will get a nice little gift from Guinness. And that's when you can hear like authentic Irish music. We do a free breakfast with cover.
Oh, nice.
So a nice Irish breakfast. So from 7 to 10. One of my favorite things we started doing a while ago, and we do a blessing of the pint. You would enjoy this.
Oh, okay.
So-
Irish Catholic boy.
Yeah, so we have a priest in quotes. Me and him get on the bar in Rochester, and he reads a nice little eulogy that's fun about regulars and everything he knows about the pub. And then we do a toast. So a lot of people really come out for that one.
I am a man of the cloth, Jamie.
yeah,
I performed about
that's true.
15 weddings. I can
Yes.
bless,
Oh, well,
I
there
can
you
bless
go.
beer.
What's
Yeah,
your
sure.
status on divorces on those?
I only have one.
Oh, good
Only
job.
one.
That's
Yeah.
impressive.
One
That
of
is
15.
impressive.
Yeah.
Well done. Well done. So, the whole day is filled with, both places we have two music stages, one outside in the tent, one inside. So tons of bands, tons of full bars. So it's a great time. I mean,
Yeah. So, all right. So that's St. Patrick's Day shenanigans, which is a beast in and of itself. Always an experience, but
Sure.
it's always just a little better when you're in an actual Irish pub.
Right.
I think
doing
so
it.
too. Everybody's Irish that day, but I always
Yeah.
say, everybody can party with. Well, never mind. I messed that one up. But
Get a good look at
I'll
the
think of
butcher's
it,
ass.
yes, I know. There's
So-
a really hot girl that just walked by.
That's right.
And excused.
Yes.
So if you had to give anyone some advice that are out and they're thinking they're going to go bar hopping on St. Patty's Day, what is some of the and a piece of advice you can give to them? Is it visit one or two places or go to as many places as you can? And include Rochester, O'Connor's,
Yeah.
and here as well.
Before I started an Irish bar gig, on St. Patty's Day, we get a limo or a bus and go to as many bars as we could. So can't say you got to stay at one. You got to spread the love. But I think for sure you have to hit an authentic Irish pub.
Oh, yeah.
And there's some great ones around, not just ours. But I think that's where you're going to get the experience because, as I was saying, that day, everybody, everybody's Irish. Everybody wants to have,
Sure.
come drink green beer and all that.
Mhm,
But I think you get that real experience in the
That's fair.
authentic Irish pub.
Yeah.
So
Growing up,
going
it
to
was
all of them
always-
out there.
But make
There's
sure you're
always-
here for the blessing of the pint at
Yes.
10 a.m.
Sing of the point.
Yes.
As a kid, it was always Old Shillelagh.
Yep. The old
That's the old
Shillelagh.
Shillelagh. I used to work the door. I
Tipperary,
come home
the
from college and work the door there.
Yep.
On St. Patrick's Day.
I mean, that's a great establishment.
The tip on Southfield was always
Oh,
a good
yeah.
one. That's like long
Yeah.
gone.
On the
too,
east side
you
was
know.
Pat
That was my-
O'Brien's over there on
Yeah.
10 and Jefferson. I always did that a lot as a kid.
All right.
All right,
Yeah.
so that's one day. The other 364 days, you're doing your Irish thing. What about the menu, right? So I've eaten here a couple of times, and I've enjoyed it. Colleen was annoyed because she doesn't like people. And it was like jockeying for a seat.
lot of people,
It's
yeah.
great for you because
Yeah.
it's busy, and she didn't like it because that's the only thing she didn't like. She liked that you poured the pints well. She just didn't like to have to jockey for the seat. And
You just came on the wrong day. You gotta come. You gotta come
you guys
during
are
the
busy,
week.
but you guys are usually hopping. It was a weekday, I think.
Okay,
It was
well,
like you
that's
guys were
good.
hopping.
It's a good.
But so tell me about the menu. What do we got on the menu at Gus's Snug and Gus O'Connor's? And is it traditional Irish at all?
Yeah, we kind of have a mix of both.
Okay.
You've been to Ireland, and I think until my last trip, I don't think they're the culinary mecca of the world.
No.
Not to offend anybody, but
you find the
British
right
Isles
places.
aren't known for that at all.
No.
exactly.
The United Kingdom is not a food paradise.
There's but you get the right place doing seafood.
Yes,
and
the seafood's amazing.
It's insane.
Yes.
But then there's this place. We rolled in late, and we were like trying to get to our bed and breakfast, and we're like, we need food, and they're like, well, the only thing is going to be the Doyle chipper. You head on down to
the nice chipper.
the chipper.
Yes.
So we go. Everything was deep fried in the same thing. So the fish, the burgers, everything was deep fried. The burgers.
Wow.
It was like everything was deep
I'll fuck
fried
with that.
and in the same oil. Everything just tasted like a fish.
My heart just skipped a beat.
Yeah.
Mine's-
So
mine's
some
slowed
Irish
down.
cuisine, not so much.
Yeah, you know what we do.
But actually, that was quite the adventure. Getting the Doyle
Oh yeah,
chipper.
and those are some. I travel quite a bit, and
Yeah.
sometimes that late night food is the highlights. You know, it's only where you eat. Sometimes the next day, not so much. But yeah, our menu. We kind of we use a lot of fresh ingredients. We're known for our burgers, like you mentioned, the Piemontese burger.
Yeah, one of my favorites.
Our Wagyu burgers, very popular, and we actually use Fairway Packing Company. I don't know if you guys know
Out
them.
of beautiful Fraser, Michigan.
Yes,
where I currently
sir.
am the clerk, yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So they just moved to Fraser.
Yep,
They just opened a new facility.
Yep.
Great guys, and we use fresh ground. Nothing's frozen. And then as for Irish, we make all of our own stews. So shepherd's pie is probably one of our more popular dishes. Guinness stew. So those are super authentic. We do the Scotch eggs, which
Yep. You don't see those out in the market, at restaurants very often.
you
really
can't buy them. That's why you got to make them by hand.
Huh.
So you can't buy a Scotch egg that's like pre-made.
Yeah,
And
no
they're
Cisco delivered Scotch eggs, right?
No.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
and they're a little
You gotta
labor
do that on
intensive.
purpose
Yeah.
to yourself.
Yes.
Yeah. So we do the bangers and mash. Obviously corned beef. So we use global corned beef. They're out of Eastern
They're
Market.
the best.
Yep.
Yeah, they are. I mean, I've tried it. I like Wiggly's. They do a pretty good job. But we just stick with the global, and
I
it's
do
just-
enjoy
it
that
works.
that you really do support local
Yes,
as much as you
That's-
can.
everything he's been mentioning is like the local
I
stuff.
really love that
love
fact that you guys support local
Yeah.
here.
It's
That's
not like the
fantastic.
big generic food truck pulls up and they unload all the frozen stuff.
Right. Yeah, no, I mean, other than that, especially here, I got a tiny freezer. The only thing I keep in there is fries. So, that's what you got to do. What you got to do there.
Right, that's fair.
But yeah, we do box teas. So this location here in Clawson, it's a little smaller kitchen. So unfortunately, we just can't execute those.
Right.
But in Rochester, the box teas are super popular.
Yes,
and
they
that
are.
is a very authentic Irish dish.
Tell me what that is. I have no idea what you're talking about.
I've had the box
So
tea
it's
in
a
Rochester.
potato pancake, and box teas can be all different. The way we do them is we do a potato pancake, and then we stuff it with different ingredients. So we have like a corned beef box tea, Irish bacon box
all
tea,
right.
seafood box tea.
That
Pretty
sounds like I
popular.
love it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's not the healthiest thing for you.
Well, I live in downtown
but
that's why
Hamtramck,
it's
so
so
potato
darn
pancakes
good.
are in my
Yeah,
diet.
there you go. So yeah, like similar to like a Polish potato pancake kind of deal. So those are probably one of the most authentic dishes we do.
Okay.
Obviously, I mentioned corned beef, and you believe it or not, if you go to Ireland, when you were in Ireland, did you find corned beef?
No, oh no.
No,
That's a New York
That's-
Jewish thing.
That's an Americanized
That's because the
thing.
Jews and the
Yeah.
Irish lived together.
Yes.
And in New York, and it was like, oh, that's the only thing we got.
And it was cheap,
like,
right?
Brisket.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted brisket back then. Now it's like gold because everybody wants to smoke it, and God bless them, I love it. But yeah, back then, brisket, potatoes, and it was just cheap. So it's more of an Irish
that's
Jewish American, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, the menu is verse. We have some good appetizers, things like that. But so
Your
we try
chicken
to,
tenders were just nothing but chicken.
we cut them by hand, fresh, not frozen.
I still got to
There you go.
finish them, and it's
Right.
going to take me the rest of the night to do it. They're amazing.
Yeah, well, thank you.
We got a lot more to cover because we're going to talk about drinking soon.
Yeah, we haven't even
and
discussed.
I know.
We
So
just
we're
been
gonna-
drinking.
I know we've been drinking. So we're going to talk about the Guinness. We're going to talk about the other because you got some beautiful things on the taps, and we're going to talk whiskey in a minute as well. But before we do that, you said one of the important things about Ireland and Irish pubs was the community.
Absolutely.
And being part of the community. So how does Gus make itself part of the community?
It's a good question. We try to be involved
Well,
with.
answer it, damn it.
Well, yeah, we try to be involved. Support local schools, any charities. I was just talking about earlier, we're working with St. Baldrick's. We do that every year right around this time, so it's a great. And, we just try to be responsible to the community, not just throwing out drunks on the street.
You have to be cognizant of what's going on out there. So then you can ask the question, what can we help you with? What can we do with you?
Absolutely.
You have to keep your head on a swivel in that regard. I'm so happy you do that.
Yeah, we try to, and it's hard because you get a lot of people that, need help and want. So I always try to focus, even when people coming in and say, hey, I got this event, I got this charity. My first question is, where is it? And I want it to be within, Clawson, within my immediate community. I mean, other people do need help and we want to support them, but we want to support the people that support us first.
Fair.
And I think that's kind of my outlook on that. And, we talked about Irish pubs and the Snug. We'll have to talk about the Snug meeting.
What is that?
At some point.
Okay.
We got to talk about it now. I don't know what.
Where'd the name the Snug come from?
So the Snug, I think that ties into the community a lot. So, in Ireland, again, it's been like a million years old, right? Mm-hmm. So back in the day, a lot of Irish towns, so Ireland's spread out. There's a bunch of these little towns, and all these little towns, they have a church, a pub, and probably a grocery store.
Sure.
They didn't have gas stations back then because there was no gas,
I've seen Waking That Divine, so go on.
Exactly. So these back then, for men and women to drink in the same establishment, what was frowned upon by the church, I believe. I could be wrong. I don't know, fact checkers out there, but that's what I was told. So, so what they did, and they said, okay, well, where are we going to go? We got to be that's only one place. So that's how they came up with the Snug.
Okay.
So all of your old Irish pubs will have a Snug, and that's a little room. It's just a lot of times off the bar area where it's secluded, and that's when they would put women and priests. And that's where they would sit and drink as the guys sat at the bar and drink.
So we're in a Snug
clergy
right here,
now?
actually, recording the show.
We're one of two Snugs you have in here, right?
Yes, we have two.
Because I was putting one on a date night one night. We went to Weiss. Came over here with Brett Kuhn and a few other people, and they put us over there like, oh, this is interesting. It's a semi-private room. Okay, I like it.
Yeah.
So we sat back there and had our cocktails. So.
A lot of people ask, what is it?
I guess Gus O'Connor's as well up in Rochester. There's a couple little Snugs in there as well.
Yes.
And that is something indicative of an Irish pub that doesn't always get done right.
I agree.
It gets a little lost in translation. But you guys did do a fine job of it, though.
Well, thank you. I think having it right off the bar is where it's at, kind of. Our second one is in the back of the pub, which is nice, but it's a little smaller. It's a little more private, but
it's fair.
The bartender can get the pints faster.
You leave the remotes here so they can watch whatever they want. That's awesome.
That helps. Sometimes it can be a little concerning,
So over here, over the door here, over the it's this little emblem says Pug Mothoin. What does that mean?
Kiss my ass. Yes.
All right.
And that's one of the things I brought back from Ireland. Definitely.
Did I say that properly, too?
I think so, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, my Gaelic is a lot of...
It's all good.
Well, that's great.
I was curious, and now I know. All right.
So, but, back to the community. So the pubs are a center of the community.
Yeah. Because
people go there to celebrate good things, bad things. And in the Snugs, they would have meetings, like city meetings and deal making. So they were an essential part of it. So, to be, that authentic Irish pub, that's why we kind of try to go after. And, we're like, oh, do you want to name the other place O'Connor's? I was like, well, it's not exactly the same.
Sure.
So I don't want people to come in here and expect it's got to have its own identity. So then I said, why not Snug? Nobody knows what that means. And it sounds interesting.
Thank you for that.
So you have entertainment here several nights a week, almost all of them, right?
Yeah, we do, I want to say 4 nights a week.
Okay.
Yep. So we do live music, and we always use our local artists. So Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, here we have live music. And then Sundays at both pubs, we do traditional Irish.
There
So
you go.
they're
Started-
setting up right now.
It's
I'm
what, 5
excited
o'clock?
to-
Yeah,
You know,
like five-ish, yep.
Eastern Standard
I'm
Time.
excited
yeah.
to have a pint with and listen to a little Irish music before I gotta get
I
home.
can hang for about 15-20 minutes at that point. Yeah.
Well, I might be convinced to do so if I had the proper Irish whiskey in front of me.
We're gonna get to the whiskey because
I have a special one for you.
we gotta because
All right.
we're celebrating. Don't forget, this is our 200th episode.
That's
and
right.
we brought you on for the very very special 200. No pressure.
Well,
Where's the bell?
I
Where's
have-
the bell?
Uh,
Ding, ding.
I'm just saying. Well, before we get to the whiskey, I do want to get to the whiskey. I want to talk about your taps, and I want to talk about the Guinness because your bartenders, to be your gals back there behind the bar.
the bar wenches.
Yeah. So, but your bar staff, they pour a proper pint, and it's and they do it up proper pint to tenfold because they draw the little shamrock and what have you.
That's something you don't see a lot.
Not everybody gets
First
that
time I've
right.
seen that in Southeast
The
Michigan.
foam has to be right. The pour has to be right.
Absolutely.
The bartender's got to be right to make that happen. And I had two. There's been a few on the table, and they've all come out
Well,
just gorgeous.
I had the Kilkenny Irish Cream Ale. It's a nitro
Oh,
pour.
that's a good one.
It's delicious. It's
I'm
not
doing
real high
a little-
octane.
I'm
I like
a
it.
little- I'm a little
Yeah, I
nippy
pretty
into
much
that.
made the distributor bring that in just for us.
Nice.
Yeah,
At
it's
first,
good stuff.
it took them like a year to get it here, but because after I went to Ireland, I said there's this stuff called Kilkenny. How come you guys don't have it?
Yeah.
Like, what? So they bring it in now. Been bringing it in for a long time, but it's good
So
stuff.
is
Yeah.
it one of the few places you can get it?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a handful of places that serve it, but I just thought it was kind of cool. I'm like, hey, we'll sell it if you bring it.
Right.
So, and then
Because
they did it.
people would argue that a pint in Ireland is so much better than a pint in the States.
I've
And-
heard that.
and it is. It's good. But one of the things is, I don't know, the brewery will send out teams to the pubs and like big and small everywhere, and they make sure that they're pouring them right and they clean out the lines.
Yes.
And because there's places that I know, we're out of Guinness, and then they pour it as like a fresh barrel, and it's like it tastes like Dogma, and it's like because they haven't cleaned their lines or any of those things that they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
So as far as that goes, does Guinness mandate things for you to do with your lines and keep them clean? And what do you do?
That's a great question. Unfortunately, they don't mandate it.
Fair play,
None of the
But they do on the island. They go out and they do it for the pubs.
They
All right.
absolutely. So a lot of people will say it's just not the same Guinness as there, and I agree with you. It does taste a little better there, but I think it's because you're there,
You're there.
right? I mean,
You're there. It's a little fresher. It's not coming
It's
across the
right.
road.
That's the word I was
Yada,
looking
yada,
for.
yada.
It's more. It's right from. It's so close.
yes,
It's got to come so far away to here. That's
and
why
it takes time,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, but the Guinness we get here, at least for sure in Michigan, is coming from Dublin.
Right.
So it is coming from there, but they don't require us. They do send training teams to places to make sure they pour them right, which I don't know if it works great because I would say more 75% of places I go and order Guinness, it's not done correctly. But
Well, it's when you pour it. It's you let the glass fill up to about 75%
Yep.
full stop,
yep, and then
Let
you
it
gotta
settle
wait.
a little
It's
bit.
patience.
and
So
then
I got
finish
this-
it off.
I got this when I was in Ireland. It's a little card that tells a bartender or someone
yeah, we've
exactly
gotten those before,
how to
yeah.
pour it, and it's like how and it's got the little thing
The
to
head,
tell you
yeah,
how long
yeah.
the head's supposed to be, and
Absolutely.
how exactly to pour
It's
it.
an art. It really is an art.
But yeah, we get our lines. I mean, I think
I'm
getting your
that
lines.
guy. I'll show that to a bartender now and again.
You should. Yeah, and you should get some
It's
more
like-
of those.
And what I said was, it's funny because the place I get a pint poured correctly more often than
I was
not.
wondering when
is-
you were going to bring this up,
yeah,
Jamie.
Buffalo Wild Wings.
Really? Corporate.
Corporate
More-
training.
corporate
More
training.
More.
Yeah.
Don't sleep on that.
Corporate guys,
worthwhile,
yeah.
More often than not, I get a proper poured pint at the Buffalo Wild Wings.
That's awesome.
And here,
Yeah.
and that's what gets me in. I'll pop in, on an afternoon. Just work on my computer for a couple minutes and have just a nice pint because it's just nice to have a nice pint,
It just makes you feel all
Snob.
warm and fuzzy, you know?
Snob.
It does. It does.
That's snug.
So you got a little
Snug.
training.
Snug.
So
Yeah,
you
so we have
follow
the
their
training.
protocols.
Yeah, we do the training. We make sure we use the right glass, obviously.
Right.
And then, we do clean our lines every 3 weeks. So
Good.
I mean, that helps. That helps huge.
Yeah, it's different. It's like people don't do that. So you got the Kilkenny. I like that you pour them in the proper glasses.
Yes, all of our Irish pints are pint in a proper 20 ounce.
In the proper.
You know what else I don't understand is, I'm not going to mention it, but I go to a couple of different places. They go, "Do you want a short or a tall Guinness?"
Is there?
And you're like,
why?
And I go, "What do you mean?
Guinness?
What do you mean? A pint of Guinness?
I want a pint of Guinness.
Yes.
It's a 20 ounce pint of Guinness.
Pour me a damn pint."
Yeah. So, but yeah, I get confused. I'm like
your water glass is like a traditional.
16.
That's
It's a 16 ounce. Yeah.
Yep.
and that's what a lot of places pour as a pint.
Yeah, that's not proper.
Nope. Not
You're
a proper
not. If
pint.
you go to Ireland and get one of those, you're not in Ireland.
No, that's a half pint.
Right.
So
They do have half pints.
I do. Yeah, they do.
Which
And
I'm
it's like-
trying to get some of the glassware to do
Actually,
here. Yeah.
I do like because it's like, oh well, I'm gonna pump the brakes. I'll have a couple half pints.
Yeah,
You know?
right.
I
It
know,
makes you feel better about
I'll have
yourself.
I'll have eight of the half pints. You know.
That's
so,
great.
Yeah.
Well, I
But-
find myself doing that at microbreweries, though, because it's high gravity stuff. It's
Oh,
not
that
like
stuff. Yeah, if you
You
drink a
gotta
whole
go.
pint, you're done.
Yeah, you
But-
gotta bring it. You know, the
but
Russian Imperial stouts, especially.
Oh,
those
yeah.
are butt kickers.
Those Russians again.
I know, right?
Oh.
They're high gravity beer.
But here's a
circle
nice
right
thing about Gus's. You have a nice set of taps. So what do we got on tap that's got the Irish flavor to it, as far as ciders and the other?
Why do you
Yeah.
care? You only drink Guinness.
I'm
Do
a
you mix
cider
your
boy.
Guinness?
I
Do you-
love the ciders too.
Do you mix your Guinness?
I do.
Like do a half and
I just
half?
have
Yeah,
cider
yeah,
all
yeah,
Guinness
yeah,
all the time.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I drink at McGee's when I
Up
went out
the-
to soccer matches.
Yep.
The Black Velvet.
Yes.
I believe
We
it's
did the
called.
Magners and Guinness.
Yep.
So I had the Magners tonight,
Oh,
and it is. I've already finished my second one. I might go back for a third, but you guys keep talking about Guinness. I might have to go back to Guinness.
I'm
the Magners
crazy, and
is-
especially
Magners
we're
is-
like in Michigan. We got a 50-degree day, so everybody lost their damn mind.
Oh yeah, I mean, I
Yeah.
saw somebody driving a convertible today. It was great.
Right. So it's like, yeah, it's the first
Yeah,
day over
57,
50 degrees
so,
in like 2 months, and everybody's like lost their mind. But a nice Irish cider, a nice cider on a sunny day. Oh,
It's
love
beautiful. So yeah, I mean, at both pubs we have Guinness, Harp, Kilkenny, and then we Smittix, of course. I like a nice Smittix.
do too.
Oh,
Yeah,
I mean-
I was looking for a Smithwick's shirt.
I don't know if Killian's still around, but I hate to break it to people. I don't think Killian's is Irish. I don't think
It's
it
Budweiser
is.
Red.
Yes, exactly.
That's what
Thank
it
you.
is.
Yeah.
But hey, you know, back in the day, I used to like a good Killian's.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it was the only option.
it was the
You
only
didn't have
option.
anything. It was a
Absolutely.
porter, a Guinness, or that. You know?
Yeah. And then we do Magners. Yeah. So you know, Magners in Ireland
love
is called Balmers.
It's called okay.
Balmers. Yeah, I don't know
So,
why,
okay.
but same logo.
Is it
Just Balmers. I don't know why.
Why the name change?
I have no idea.
No.
They'll have. Sometimes you'll see Magners as well, but and then I'm going to teach you how to drink Magners.
Okay.
You got to put some ice in it.
Ah,
Oh,
Really?
Yes, over ice
It's like a
is the
Hamtramck
way it's
beer.
supposed to do it. Yeah.
Okay.
Too late. I'm getting a Guinness now.
Well,
so.
the night's not over, but yeah, you know,
That's so.
I didn't know that either. But when I was in Ireland, I ordered a Balmers,
Okay.
and they serve it to me with nice full rocks glass, you know, pint with ice.
Uh-huh.
It was fucking delicious.
Huh.
It was good, and I recommend it to everybody. Say, hey, you
All
like
right.
cider? Try it with some ice.
So your bar staff, they're very well. They have a lot of knowledge because when I got here, I was really thinking about what I wanted to do, and I asked, okay, so you have Blake's on. You have Blake's here as well, correct?
Yes, absolutely love
And-
Blake's. They
yes.
do a nice job.
Amazing stuff over there. But she's like, but we had this kind. I'm like, well, what else do you have? And she's like, well, we got the Magners. You probably like it. I'm like, I'll give it a shot. I'll
Yeah.
try anything once, and I want to try it again.
a lot of the American ciders, and it's like because back in the day, you had woodpecker and woodchuck.
Oh, the
Oh, yeah.
woodchuck.
Woodchuck.
Oh, yeah.
Woodpecker, woodchuck. Those are sweet,
Oh, too sweet. Yes, way too
And
sweet.
Colleen hated them. And when we were in Ireland, she's like, "Oh my God, this is
That's
it."
right. Cider is another
Yeah.
whole
And
other thing.
so you know, and then
Yeah.
you know, even though it's English, you know, the
Strongbow was the closest
yeah.
we could get.
Yes.
Really.
Yeah.
For a lot. Then they changed the recipe and they went
They
with the
did.
sweet stuff.
And now it's actually hard to get it. We used to have
Yeah.
Strongbow on draft for a long
The
time,
good,
and
the,
we
the
couldn't
good
get it.
solid dry Strongbow
Yeah.
is
But
great,
yeah,
and they discontinued it in Michigan.
Yep.
There's a couple places you can get the 16 ounce or the 20 ounce cans.
Oh,
They're
really?
old.
Okay.
They're
yeah.
old then because they'll say Strongbow Gold,
Oh
Yeah.
no,
and that's
they
not
changed-
it. That's the change. It
Yeah.
hasn't been for 10 years now.
really?
Yes.
I'll take
They
it
dumped it.
because you work. You're bar boy too. So, all right. But yeah, but the Magners is just gorgeous
But
too.
you know what?
There's
All the
places that
ice
you
for
find
me,
it, too.
it cuts that sweetness a little bit.
All
That's
right.
fair because it had a little
Yeah.
sweet tone
Yeah.
to it, but it was still it was
yes,
delicious.
it cuts
It really
that.
was
Yeah,
delicious.
for sure.
But Balmer's in Ireland.
Yes, Balmer's in
Oh.
Ireland.
All
I think
right.
they have Magners too, but you see either or, and I'm not really sure what the
You just
difference
draw
is.
that?
I was told it's the same. So
I'll do another if I may, please. All right. So, but now we wanted to talk about the spirits on the shelves, right? Because a lot of times we talk about the whiskeys, and let us remind you that this is our 200th episode.
a lot of whiskeys talked about there.
Very special.
You guys know way more than I do that.
We did a blind tasting. And we had some Green Dot, and we had we had
Tullamore Dew.
Bushmills Red.
Yeah.
Tullamore
Okay.
Dew, we had
Proper
Bushmill,
12. Jameson.
Black Barrel, and we had the Proper 12. I think we had 5 or 6 of them.
We
that
had 7
tried.
bottles, but we tried
I gotta
5.
do this. I gotta do this stuff with you guys more often.
Right?
Yeah,
Anytime.
Whiskey,
my
huh?
girlfriend
We were-
came in with a tray where they're all numbered, and we had to try to guess
I love that.
which
Because
one
we knew
was.
what was coming.
Yeah.
But we didn't know
No,
what
which-
they were, and so we were tasting them, trying to figure out which ones we liked the best. So we had 2 gingers too, which is like a
Yeah.
bottom one.
Yeah.
But it's so we were trying high end, low end, and trying to what we liked, right, and doing that. But you have there's like just an amazing selection. I mean, you got like 5 different powers up there.
Yeah, I mean, I think here probably have around 50 different ones. I know at
I
the O'Connor's
see.
downtown location, we have like over 80 Irish whiskeys.
I see Redbreast. I'm just saying.
Oh,
That's
I
the
know.
best.
It's
The
like
Red Breast
gorgeous
is good,
stuff, man.
I'll tell you, in our blind taste test, the one that we all voted, and I think this is, I tell the story all the time. We drink so much bourbon
Yeah.
and rye that our palates are set to our flavors are like that. So when we went to Irish, the one that we went with was the most flavorful of the Irish whiskeys.
Yeah.
We all picked Proper 12
Yeah.
in a blind
Yeah,
tasting.
Really?
It's the top
And
one.
I
It was
wouldn't
the
have guessed
one we
that.
liked. It was
I
our
didn't
top
either.
one or two. It was our top
You are
one.
It's the most American one. That's
I was
probably
so
why.
and it was
upset.
funny.
I was so
We
upset
were,
about
before we
that.
started, Matt was like, "Well, I hate Proper 12, so that's going to be my bottom pick for sure."
Wow.
And then by the end of the
And
day,
then-
he's like,
then-
it was his
no
number
Proper
one.
12.
It was his
That's
number one.
tough. That's tough to like
So-
deal with. You go home and you're like, oh my god.
Did Proper 12 get canceled? Did Proper 12 get canceled? Do you know?
Because of Conor McGregor?
Yeah.
No, but a funny story. Last time I was in Dublin on our last trip, and we're talking to bartenders and we're like Proper 12 drink. No. He's not very well liked in most of Dublin.
Oh, yeah.
I think there's some parts where they love him, but they're like, no, don't say that word again. But I'll buy you
fair
something different.
Wow.
So
Yeah, we were all pretty disappointed in ourselves that day.
yeah.
What do you know about the whiskeys that you guys carry? Thank you, dear. Absolutely.
So the whiskeys that we carry. So
So what do you got? Impress me.
we focus on Irish. So you're talking about the spots; those are good. I think I was supposed to be getting it might be here or not, but a blue spot. So that was pretty rare.
Oh,
so
yeah.
because we buy a lot of
You go
Jameson
through it, you
stuff.
get access to that. I know
You
how
get
the
access to
allocation game is
Yeah.
played. Yeah.
Yes. So we get some cool ones. I would say probably we have the Redbreast 27 here, so that's a nice one.
Oh yes.
But Irish whiskeys are cool.
Yeah.
They are. So last time we went, we got the pleasure of going to Tullamore Dew Distillery,
All right.
and it was like on a Sunday morning, and it was towards the end of our trip, and we were all regretting that drive because that.
It's a
hitting-
hike, is it?
It wasn't that far, but we've been hitting pubs like 10 pubs a day for 4 days at this point.
That
So everybody's
sounds terrible.
like,
it really does.
everybody's like, do we have to do this?
That's one of those half pints come in handy.
Yes, exactly. So I really got an appreciation for Tully. And we went there, beautiful distillery. They gave us an amazing tour. And then they let us mix our own bottle of whiskey.
What?
I actually got one here. So that's what I was telling you. I got something
What?
So
special.
you got your Tullamore barrel pick, huh?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah,
Wow,
so
man.
it was pretty cool. Well, it wasn't a barrel pick. So they have this cool machine, and they have a lot of Irish whiskeys are blended, right?
Right. Yes.
So
I'm not afraid of blended whiskey.
No,
I'm not
afraid
afraid
of
like that at all.
nothing
I love
wrong.
No, none of us are afraid of blended
Yeah.
whiskeys.
So they have all the different blends, and then you pick how much of each you want, and that's what makes the unique.
distinct. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's
So then
you're
they
right.
record a number. So if you ever go back there, you can make it again. Other than that,
nice.
nobody else has that whiskey
You got
in the
your
world.
formula.
Ah,
So it's kind of
All right.
cool.
that's nice. All right, so God.
And you can tell people you have this here. You're the only ones. that
Well,
have
the only people you can't buy it. The only special people get it here.
Oh, you can't-
Well, I have a bottle.
You
Yeah.
can't sit at the bar and order it.
No.
Okay, so it's not
But
like
if
that.
you're a friend or somebody special or somebody that really loves the Irish whiskeys, I'll usually, do a little tasting with them.
Did we mention it's our 200th episode?
Yes.
I was going to say the same
Yes.
thing.
You guys qualify for special.
This is going to become the 201st episode here.
Dimitry,
pretty soon.
how can people find out about the goings on at both places? Websites for both?
Yeah. Our website, o'connorsrochester.com or gussnug.com. So everything is on there. You'll probably hear some stuff on the radio. But, if you're going out St. Patty's Day, make sure you hit an authentic Irish pub. Doesn't have to be ours, but make sure you hit one.
And make sure you Uber.
And
Make sure you Uber, yes.
Yeah, Uber Lyft.
I was shocked a few years ago because, I noticed that I came out in a parking lot the next day, or we're full. At Rochester, we hold about 1,000 people at a time. And we got a huge line, we're full. And I'm looking in the parking lot, I'm going, where are all the cars? Which kind of made me happy.
Yeah,
That's great.
Yeah.
Because, 7-8 years ago, that wasn't the case.
It was a gauntlet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Everybody's getting their car towed, and so it's cool.
Calling mom to pick them up.
Yep.
All right. Dimitri, thanks so much. Let's try a little whiskey. Should we just wrap it and then do some whiskey?
Let's wrap
that's
and
the way
do
to
some
go.
whiskey.
Yeah.
All
That's the way
right.
to go.
Absolutely.
There we go. All right. So, Dimitri, thank you so much.
Thank you guys.
You're my favorite Irish Russian dude I have ever met in my life.
Perfect.
For sure.
Cheers, gentlemen.
Hey, that's Jimmy
Cheers.
Flanagan.
That's August Skitchlag.
Oh, Matt Fox is right here next to me. That sexy beast.
Like, subscribe, leave a
Yeah.
comment, all those podcast things at Podcast Spaces. We'll see you next time.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.